Welcome back to Startup Street. On Investor Eye today, we put the spotlight on Avaana Capital, an early-stage investment firm. Avaana Capital has backed startups in the consumer, food and agri sectors and has made the final close of its dedicated climate and sustainability-focused fund at $135 million. Now, remember, the firm was initially targeting to raise $100 to $125 million and had made the first close of this fund at $70 million in June last year. Now, through this specialized fund, Avaana Capital plans to invest in 20 to 25 early-stage companies. Joining us now to discuss this further is Anjali Bansal, partner at Avaana Capital. Also joining us is my colleague Ritu. Anjali, welcome to Startup Street. Now, Avaana Capital has raised its largest fund for climate tech startups, exceeding your target size. You have the likes of Green Climate Fund, International Development Finance Corporation, and the UK government through UK India Development Cooperation Fund, among other leading investors. Talk to us about your conversations with these global investors and what kind of opportunities do they see in India?
Well, thank you very much for having me and Avaana here on CNBC-TV18. We are absolutely delighted that we are able to share the first of its kind, I think the first, and we are being told the largest yet institutional thematic fund focused on solving for climate in India. And I must say, all of this has been made possible only with the support of our believers, our founders, our stakeholders, very conducive policies by the government of India, and of course, the support that we have got from the Green Climate Fund, the UK IDCF, USDFC, and domestically with SRI and SIDBI. I think what has really worked is the understanding, and we have done a lot of work over the last couple of years to build the climate tech narrative for the country, that there is a need to solve for climate. There's a need to solve for climate urgently, both with speed and at scale. India is an integral part of any global climate solution. So frankly, the world cannot solve for climate without India. And our solution for climate will have to work alongside our development growth journey. So as the Honorable Prime Minister had laid out in the Glasgow COP 3 years ago now, the Panchamrit model and the principles of the framework which allow for India to continue our absolutely wonderful Amrit Kal path, next 25 years, 6 to 9% GDP growth, which means we will consume more steel, more cement, more power. We will continue to bring wealth to our population, raise people out of poverty. And consequently, the focus has to be on holistic, inclusive, sustainable development, mitigation of costs, so carbon reduction, but also adaptation and building resilience in our vulnerable communities.
Well, Anjali, hi, this is Ritu stepping in as well. Avaana has been investing in climate tech companies, but from this specific fund, can you tell us what kind of innovative technologies you're looking to back and across which sectors across, this wider ecosystem?
Certainly, Ritu, we have chosen to focus on the sectors that contribute to about 90% of India's emission footprint and 70% of the economy. So the thesis being large problem, hence 90% of the emission footprint, but also big market opportunities, because really change will happen when we are able to create commercially scalable models, and impact at scale will get done. The three sectors we are focusing on are energy and resource management, so energy transition, access, water, land, air resources, food systems, so sustainable agriculture, precision agriculture, synthetic food systems, synthetic bio as well, and of course, circular economy, supply chains, mobility, alternative materials, solving for plastic, the circularity. So that is the kind of work we are doing. Early stage companies, innovation, whether it's product innovation or process innovation, with also, and we've all seen this now, that India has a very, very large innovation ecosystem. More work is being done in deep tech. A lot of early stage capital is required for enterprise creation. We saw a gap and we said, let's build the product to fill that gap, to help create new enterprises that will solve not just for India, but frankly for the world.
All right, Anjali, then tell us, how many climate tech startups are you looking to invest in? Who are you in talks with? And have you already started deploying the funds? And what's the ticket size of the investments?
Sure. We are seeing phenomenal deal flow. And I have to say that, I think everyone has been positively surprised. When we started building, we said, will there be enough to invest in? And I think we have shown, yes, there is. We see about 1,000 new opportunities every year, very high quality founders solving very difficult problems. We have made already about 10 investments from this fund, and I can share a little bit more about them. Our goal is, as you had mentioned earlier, to do about roughly 20-25 investments from this fund. We go early, we work closely with our founders, we work across the ecosystem, startups, bringing in corporates because industrial technologies for adoption at scale, piloting, sandboxing, and go-to-market. And then, of course, working with the catalytic capital as well as our policy and research ecosystem to create some of these opportunities. So some of our companies that we are already invested in the agri space, we have Farmart, we have Iki Foods. Iki is actually really the future of food production. It is how food will be produced. So they are growing tomatoes, cucumbers, eggplants at scale in the desert of Rajasthan at 50 degrees Celsius temperature, 80% less water. We have mobility companies like 91 Cycles and Kazan.
Sure, Anjali.
Yes, over to you.
Yeah, well, we're running out of time. So very briefly, what is the current AUM? How much will it grow by in the next year or so? And any exits lined up for you?
So, well, as you know, we've just closed the fund at about 135 million, so roughly about between 1,100, 1,200 crores. So we've just started deploying. So exits will come as these are early companies. They will grow, they will build scale, and we will seek liquidity at the right time once value is created in the companies. And frankly, we help to build the value as well. So that's the AUM. We invite founders to come talk to us. We run a number of programs such as Startup India, along with Startup India, the Grand Challenge for Climate Tech Innovation, and we launched the India Climate Week also this year.
All right. On that note, Anjali, we'll have to wrap up our conversation, but many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today. Wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
With that,
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV18 on all of our digital platforms.